people is the obsession and the discipline I have towards the game.
What a play, Giannis! Slam it! How about that?
Man, that's how you start a show. Welcome to NBA Today. I'm Malika Andrews. Joining us are super senior writers Brian Windhorst, Zach Lowe. And how lucky are we that right here in studio, I know I felt a little Bay Area energy coming in.
A little reunion.
We got some champs in the house.
Right.
Festus Ezeli, former general manager Bob Myers, gracing us with his presence here on NBA Today. Earlier this morning, guys, this is where we're going to start our show. Our reporter covering the Milwaukee Bucks, Jamal Collier, he wrote a piece that's out on ESPN.com right now about Milwaukee's path back to contention. So in case you missed it, let's just catch everybody up here, right? Almost a year ago, the Bucks shook things up. They shook up the league when they acquired all-world point guard Damian Lillard in exchange for Drew Holiday. And then 4 days later, Drew went to the Celtics and eventually won another title. But a month after that big trade, Giannis agreed to a 3-year, $175 million contract extension with Milwaukee. That extension actually begins next season and ties Giannis with the franchise through 2027-28. He has that player option then. But then you got some drama. Head coach Adrian Griffin, who was brought in to replace Mike Budenholzer at the beginning of the season, was fired just 43 games into his Bucks tenure. And then Doc Rivers was hired shortly after. But that didn't solve everything, right? The injuries they piled up for the Bucks. Giannis missed the entire series against the Pacers, and Lillard was also limited due to an Achilles injury. Let's take a listen here to Giannis Antetokounmpo.
We're getting older, we're not getting any younger, but again, that doesn't mean that we cannot still perform on a high level. Like, I think Brook was incredible. I think Chris, this series was incredible. I think Dame, when he played, he was incredible also. I think if I played, we would have been a different conversation right now. It's hard to say that, yeah, we're old and you have to make change because these guys are very pissed.
So that was Giannis after the Bucks were bounced in the first round for the second straight season. And then look at this. What's happening here, Festus? Is this an exercise you do often, Bob?
Pilates? This morning.
Yeah, I figured you came straight to the
You look extra today, Bob.
It's not that hard. It looks hard. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, this is all of us are going to get on the Pilates machine after that. Let's just take a look here at the Bucks' current depth chart. You have Dame's former Blazers teammate, Gary Trent Jr. That's the big addition, along with Taurean Prince, DeLon Wright getting added. So this is what we're looking at for the Milwaukee Bucks. And now that all of us are all caught up, Zach, the Bucks, they didn't exactly have much flexibility this summer. They made a couple of moves that we just detailed. But do you believe that continuity is enough for them to get back to that promised land?
Continuity won't be enough. And to me, this is the single biggest question in the NBA going into the season. Can the Bucks rediscover the form of a team you look at and say, that's a contender? That team can beat Boston 4 times in a playoff series. That team can beat the beefed up Knicks 4 times in a playoff series. The Sixers with Paul George. All those teams either stayed the same or got better. Milwaukee is coming off the year from hell. And they still have Giannis, so I can't take them out of that tier with New York and Philly right behind Boston because he is that good. But the questions outweigh the answers right now. Damian Lillard is 34 and rarely looked comfortable last season. Chris Middleton is 33, coming off an injury-plagued season, a nice playoffs, and then double ankle surgery in the offseason. Brook Lopez, the anchor of their defense, is 36. This team is getting older and less athletic around Giannis. They don't have a lot of young guys in the pipeline. This is a right now team that went 17-19 under Doc Rivers before the Giannis injury took them out of the playoffs. They just never found their footing, and they've got to find it fast in an Eastern Conference that has gotten better top to bottom in the playoff race.
Yeah, I like what Zach said. I mean, their questions are many for this team. And I do value continuity, maybe more than other people, Malika, Festus. Look at Dallas, right? Dallas didn't even make the play-in tournament. And everybody wrote them off, probably all of us. Kyrie and Luka doesn't work. Dallas tanked. Obviously got Derek Lively out of it, which we don't talk about enough. And then they got to the finals the following year. So we're very quick to dismiss things when they don't work right away. This team didn't have enough time to work together, but the problem with that then is, the counter is, why didn't they have enough time? Well, they were hurt. They fired their coach. No continuity, too much drama, too many questions. They still do have a top 5 player in this guy right here, Giannis Antetokounmpo. when you have a top 5 player, you always have a chance to win a championship. We can argue, what is Lillard? What is he, top 10, top 15? You have a top 5 guy, a top 15 guy, and then this guy, Middleton, is a consummate role guy, a champion in his own right. But I hate using this, but you have to be healthy, right? You have to be healthy. Right. Every team has to be healthy. But when we talk about health, some teams have a better chance of being healthy than others. This team has had a lot of injuries, and you would not be surprised if they had more. Personally, I hope they don't. I want to see what this team looks like healthy, because a healthy Bucks team for the course of the 24-25 season could do some damage, but have to be healthy during the regular season, develop that continuity, and then in the playoffs.
The health is everything for them. I mean, Giannis has played 3 playoff games the last 2 years combined. The reason they've been out in the first round isn't because their organization is failing. It's because Giannis has been hurt. And if you go back even before that, when they lost in 7 games in their title defense here against the Celtics, Chris Middleton got injured in the first round in that series and didn't play in that 7-game Celtics series. So yes, I think it's dangerous to assume that they're going to be healthy, but I also think it's dangerous to disregard them. I think Zach is correct. They're under a lot of pressure to have a big season this year, but I do not think anything is impossible for this group. I think if they're all together and healthy, which is a big if, their ceiling is still championship level high. And also, I do think that they've made some nice additions to their rotation. Gary Trent Jr. is one of the best value signings of the offseason. Taurean Prince is a quality rotation player. They signed Delon Wright, a quality rotation player. They did get deeper. They've got to be healthy, but they, I believe, are a better team than they were at the end of last season.
Right, and John Horst said this in our article up on ESPN.com, the general manager of the Milwaukee Bucks, that with Giannis, you're sort of always on the clock to be able to perform when you have a caliber player like that. But the fact of the matter is, under Doc Rivers, Chris Middleton, Dame Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, we only saw them on the floor for 8 games together. So now, Festus, that they have an off season, all of them together, what can we expect from this duo of Dame and Giannis on the court?
So last season, when I heard the news that Damian Lillard was going to the Milwaukee Bucks, especially after Drew Holiday was being traded, I thought this is an incredible move for the Milwaukee Bucks. You have a guy in Damian Lillard who can score the basketball like the best of them from range beyond the three-point line, and you have Giannis Antetokounmpo who comes into the game and his tenacity just helps them win games. These guys together as leaders can lead this team to the Eastern Conference, at least the Eastern Conference Finals. But now I'm going to show you some tape of exactly what it is that I see in their second year, because I think they're going to be better, kind of like how you said, Bob. They're going to be better like the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of pick and rolls under Doc Rivers. You have Giannis Antetokounmpo right here. The defense is going to be dropped back on Giannis, and the defense is going to be pushed up on Damian Lillard. This is perfect for Dame. Coming off a ball screen like that, all you have to do is nail the defender. Now you have a double screen right here. Bobby Portis, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Great read by Giannis to slip this screen, because you know the guy is going to be jumping, trying to get to Dame, because you don't want him to shoot that shot. These are the type of plays I feel like are going to be really crucial for this team. It's the reason why this team is going to be so great. But health is a huge factor for this team. Very front-loaded. Starting 5 is incredible. They try to boost the bench, but I think any injury offsets this team's chances.
And I agree with that, Festus. When I saw it, although I love Drew Holiday, I think we all love Drew Holiday. We knew what he was. We saw what he was in the finals. I did think, wow, how are you going to defend Lillard and Antetokounmpo? You literally can't. What I got concerned about, which we have to see, and we did see a little bit, I keep referencing the Mavericks with Luka and Kyrie. Last year with Lillard and Giannis, 1 + 1 just equaled 2. We needed to equal 2.5. We needed to equal 3.
Right.
We did not see the best version of those guys. And maybe with the coaching change, you saw the numbers in the pick and roll. People would say Giannis is handling too much. Dame is handling too much. I don't think they even know how much they should be handling. Hopefully with time and an offseason. As a basketball fan, I love it when you see two great players come together and better each other. I just didn't see that. I'm surprised we didn't see more of that. That's my takeaway from last season. I think that's going to change this year.
Let me ask you this, Bob. And it's easy to talk about stakes here on September 19th, but coming into the season, we talked about when Giannis is under contract until, looking at Boston looming over this Milwaukee Bucks team as a superior team. What are the stakes here for Milwaukee if you're John Horst looking at this roster, knowing exactly what he said? When you have him, you are always on the clock.
I think if you're John Horst, you're sitting there saying it's either this year and maybe next year. That's it.
Okay.
Our window is now and maybe 1 year. Age, injuries, all the above. And what you're hoping for is health, right? Because you can evaluate a team when you're healthy. When you got hurt in the playoffs for the Warriors, you can't really tell how good or not you are. Maybe we would have won the finals, seriously, in 16. Maybe we would have done this or that. But when you're healthy and you lose, you get clarity.
Hello, still on Giannis Antetokounmpo. With the arrival of the 2024 to 2025 NBA season, Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo is considered the second best player in the league, according to CBS Sports. Despite recent disappointments in the playoffs, the combination of Antetokounmpo with Damian Lillard, who is also among the 30 best players in the league, brings renewed optimism to the team. Both stars are seen as the key to overcoming early eliminations and competing at a high level. Giannis continues to be a dominant presence, averaging 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists per season, numbers that place him among the great legends of the NBA. Last season, Antetokounmpo was among the best in scoring, rebounding, and assists, despite battling injuries that hampered him in the final phase of the season. He played 73 games and maintained a high level of efficiency, but his absence during crucial moments in the playoffs raised questions about his ability to lead the Bucks to the end. His health will be crucial to the team's success, especially with the addition of Lillard, who brings more versatility and offensive power to the team. Critics point out that Giannis's physicality, while impressive, makes him more vulnerable to injuries, which has been a hindrance in recent years. Players like Nikola Jokic have stood out for their consistency in the playoffs, something that Antetokounmpo needs to recover to lead the Bucks to another title. The expectation is that Giannis, alongside Lillard, can regain the chemistry and strength necessary for a new run at the championship. The Bucks have a balanced team and a deep roster, with players like Chris Middleton and Brook Lopez, in addition to new adjustments in the coaching staff, which can help better manage the load of their key players. If Giannis can stay healthy, the Bucks will be in contention for the top of the NBA. Thank you for watching this far. Leave your comment and don't forget to subscribe. Hugs and see you next time.